Good morning, my loves. Happy Sunday. Beautiful day here at the lake. Currently in the 50s, so it's a little chilly. High today is in the 80s. Rest of the week will be 80s. Later in the week, in the 90s. That's spring here in Arizona. So, oh, my face is itching. I was holding Finn, the cat, a few minutes ago, and I still have cat hair on my face. Sorry. So, in the shower this morning, and you know how things just pop in your head, and it dawned on me how different my life is now than how I imagined it when I was growing up. Think back to when you were in elementary school. Now for me, keep in mind, I'm older than dirt. Elementary school for me was in the early 1960s. Yeah, long time ago. Now back then, little girls would grow up to be mommies and housewives. A few would be secretaries, teachers, or nurses. That was it. For the most part, that was it. And I knew I wanted to be a mommy, of course. I think most little girls back then, that's just how we were programmed. I mean, I hate to use that word, but that really is. That's how we were programmed. You were going to grow up and you were going to be a wife and you were going to be a mommy. Until you are a mommy, even if you're a wife, you are allowed to be, and I am using that word specifically, allowed to be a teacher, a nurse, a secretary. But once you get married, hey, you have a family to take care of. Seriously. It was, yeah. Do you know it wasn't until, I want to say 1974, that women could have their own credit cards in the U.S.? Otherwise, you were, you had your husband's credit card and you were allowed to use it. Same thing with banking. You couldn't have your own checking account. Seriously, I remember that real well. So, in junior high, that's when your thoughts really start expanding. Your imagination starts going. By the 70s, women could do whatever they wanted to do. You could be whatever you wanted to be. And oh my gosh, everybody was just shooting for the moon, and I love that. But think back in your life. How close were your dreams to now your reality? Are they pretty close? Mine are pretty close. Yeah. I have my son, my granddaughter, of course, my daughter-in-law, and I was a nurse. Although at one point in high school, I thought I wanted to be a business major. And so I took all the business classes. A bunch of us did. And back then, it's when you could first start getting college credits for high school courses back in the mid-70s. And that's what a bunch of us did. And I really thought I was going to go into business or teach or something like that. But, I've always wanted to be a nurse, and that's what I went into. How close is your life today to what you thought it would be in college, when you got out of college? Because when you get out of college, you have the world by the tail. It's anything and everything. You can conquer the world. You're in your early 20s. Most are single. You have an education. You have a degree. Go for it. What's it going to be? Mine is fairly close, because when I got out of nursing school and I started working, I was a single mom when I got out of nursing school. And you'd have your clinicals, of course. And a couple of the doctors that, when I did my rotations, they said, you really need to go to medical school. You should really go to medical school, because you are great with a differential diagnosis. You just know. It's a gift. So I went home and I talked to my parents. I said, Dr. So-and-so mentioned my dad had a fit. No, girl, what you need to do is you need to get married. You need to get my son a daddy, because I was a single mom. That's what you need to focus on. No. He didn't understand, and that's okay. His generation saw life differently than mine did, and that's okay. I had the opportunity to go into the new PA program. It was brand new. And I remember talking to them about that. And they thought it was stupid. It's a flash in the pan. It's not going to last. You're going to waste thousands of dollars on something that's never going to work. You just stay working at the hospital in intensive care. This is what you need to do. And that's what I did. Hindsight, I should have gone to medical school, or I should have gone into the PA program. They didn't have a nurse practitioner program back then. I definitely should have done that. Absolutely, positively. I kick myself in the butt for that all the time. But I am happy the way my life worked out. I have a beautiful life. I don't have a husband, obviously. I'm not seeing anyone, but I'm still happy. I was programmed, to think that I would be incomplete without having a mate, without having a husband in my life. My life would be totally incomplete. My dad, God bless him, all the way till the day he died in 2015, he thought I should be married. You need to find somebody. One of my best friends, my dad knew very well. He's retired now. He was a professor and of chemical engineering and biomedical plastics and all kinds of wild stuff. One of the besties of my besties. He's the primo bestie. I've known him for years. My dad loved him. Oh my God, Daddy loved him. To the point, Gary was one of my dad's pallbearers. I mean, my dad called him and asked him, would you please do this for me? Because my dad knew he was dying. My dad told me a few months before he passed, he said, you need to marry that boy. Don't mess this up. Gary and I are best friends. It's not going to happen. But we do love each other, absolutely, always will, but we're best friends, and that's it. That's it. We have been best friends for 15 years. It's not going to be anything more than that. He's with somebody else. But my dad, in his little mindset, I had to be married to be happy. And that's wrong. I am very happy. Would I like to have somebody in my life? Absolutely. Do I have to have that? No. It is not mandatory. It is not a requirement. But I'm happy. So I want you to look at your life. Are you happy? Did you live your life? Now think about this. Did you live your life to meet other people's expectations? Like my dad, God bless him. You know, I needed to be married. That's what I was supposed to do. It broke his heart more than it broke mine when I had a hysterectomy. I had uterine cancer. I found out 6 months after I had my son. I went for my postpartum check, and they do a pap smear, and it came back abnormal. So they did other testing in that 6-month time span, and I had cancer. Okay. Everything's got to go. Back then, in the 70s, that's what they did. Okay. And my dad was just devastated that I couldn't have a family. I said, if I want a family, I can adopt. It's not that big a deal. Well, it was to him. No, I have my son. I'm good. I'm fine. But thank you. Did you live your life to meet other people's expectations? Are you happy with who you are? Your authentic self. Are you happy? Me, I am elated. Absolutely, positively. I was raised, I'm adopted, but my adoptive parents, Daddy had it all cut out for me. This is what I was supposed to do, be a mommy. My mom, on the other hand, she saw things a little bit differently. She did encourage me to go to nursing school, which I was very appreciative. Her family were Cherokee, and they were healers. Imagine that. So here I learned healing techniques, Reiki techniques, laying on of hands and stuff like that. I am very good. I do have a clientele, a healing clientele that I have. But I went to nursing school, and that's who I'm supposed to be. That is who I am. Absolutely, positively, without question, that's me. Absolutely. I love what I do. I will never stop doing what I do. Whether it's as a trauma therapist, whether it's with Reiki, whether it's with nursing, it's who I am. And I honored that within myself because that's me. I didn't do it to please somebody else. I did it because that's me. And I know a lot of people that I've talked to through the years, they're living their life to please other people. They became an engineer because their parents wanted them to be an engineer. They became a doctor because that's what Grandpa was, that's what Dad was. Now I got to be a doctor. But what do you want to be? You know? If nothing else, if you did follow through with this to fulfill everyone's expectations of your life, but you still have your dreams and your desires, you still have your passions incorporated in your life. I don't care if you love books, collect. Collect books, why not? Read as many as you can. Maybe you love art. Maybe you're a musician at heart. So, play, listen, do whatever it takes to incorporate your passion into your life. That's how you will find happiness. Absolutely, positively. For those that are protectors, they go into the military, they go into law enforcement, because that's who they are. And I love that. There are people that are just so talented with their hands. They are true artists. They may paint, they may sculpt, they may be carpenters. They may work with cars, but they are just very talented with their hands. That's their passion. Honor that. Do not put them down. That is a gift they have been given. Everybody on this planet has a gift that they have been given. Absolutely, positively. And once you've discovered that and incorporate that into your life, you will be happy. For some people, it's religion, their belief system, meditation. I am very big into meditation. I meditate at least 3 times a day. I incorporate that into my healing practice for people. Just find your passion and live it. Incorporate it into your life. It doesn't matter if you're a mommy and you have 5 kids, but you really like gardening. You love flowers. Have a garden. If nothing else, read books about it. Watch movies about it, documentaries, YouTube videos, whatever it takes. Don't let go of your passion. Nurture it. Feed it so it can feed your soul. Bottom line.